Hi. The question is, what was sexy 10 years ago but isn't now?
When I was in high school, there was one year where every girl at my school suddenly started wearing a feather in their hair. Did anyone else experience this, or was my high school weird? I remember this too. It wasn't like a hair clip either. It was an extension, semi-permanent in their hair for like 6 weeks. Using the word sexy in marketing/digital teams to describe sleek interfaces or products.
July 18, 2006, Justin Timberlake began promising to bring sexy back and has been relentless in its pursuit ever since. I am unsure about his success rate as I look around and things appear status quo. Edit, WTF is the I'm deceased award.
He did already, his era of sexiness just died down. But still remember, JT gave you his dick in a box, is down to 3-way with another dude, and will give your mom the best Mother's Day/night ever.
I worked at a university from the age of 24 to 35. I remember it being a gradual process where one fall nearly all of the incoming freshmen looked like kids to me, but the older students still looked grown, and then within a year nearly all of the female students started looking like kids as well. Like you said, it was as much about how they carried themselves as how they physically looked. But once I started to notice it, it slowly became all that I could see. I only point this gradual but relatively rapid process out to contrast with how suddenly I went from feeling like I was still in with that generation to feeling forever old, the first time an attractive co-ed looked at me with sudden smile on her face and then walked straight towards me from down the hall and said, "Excuse me sir, could you tell me where to find my faculty advisor's office?" The look on her face had been the type of thing that in another setting I would have thought, this girl is into me. But instead was the look of a worried child relieved to have found a grown-up for help. I don't think I've felt young since. I feel like women's casual wear in general is always sexier than it was 10 years ago, and it's starting to make me feel old. I imagine when I'm old I'm going to comment on some lady's outfit being really revealing, and my grandkids are going to roll their eyes and say something like, "You're so old-fashioned grandpa, her asshole isn't even open."
Just imagine how you'll be about technology. Come on grandpa. Just upload a copy of your consciousness into true VR so we can hang out in a virtual world. No. What if the people from 4chan get a hold of my brain and start sharing my memories? That's not how it works, Zoomer. Your memories aren't even uploaded in the scan. I don't wanna.
I'm 40. I've been practicing and teaching yoga for many years. 10 years ago, women were shamed for wearing leggings because they were too revealing. If you all saw what passes as appropriate yoga attire now, you'd pass out. It's basically a competition to see who can wear the least clothing. It cracks me up though, yoga is sweaty and long pants can dramatically help manage the sweat. There are plenty of arm balances that I can only do in slightly damp pants because they provide more grip. Sweaty skin on sweaty skin is a slip and slide. Just impractical and silly. Plus good quality material actually keeps you drier and more comfortable. I'm old. To me, personally, artsy boys and skinny jeans who are deeply tormented souls who the rest of the world just doesn't understand. No lie, I once, unironically, swooned when a boy, unironically, used the line, "I just have to keep creating or I'll die." Now I just want a regular guy or girl who wants to laugh while fucking and go out to get a burrito afterwards. Not before. Never before. Performative sexiness is way less sexy than an effortless connection. I am happy to leave the artsy boys to the next generation. I was an awkward weird kid that never participated in the races. Then one day I did, and it turned out I was the fastest kid in the grade. Little 10-year-old me couldn't figure out why I wasn't one of the cool kids all of a sudden, since they always lavished praise and adoration on the other fastest kids for how fast they were. Suddenly no one cared about who was fastest anymore, and found other reasons to create a divide between us and them. I learned a very valuable lesson about the nature of the world that day. I quit FB in 2013 and never looked back. Started because I just needed to get away from some people and unplug in general. I was surprised by how much better I felt at the end of 1 month, and that sealed the deal. No IG or anything besides Reddit. The pressure of having everyone I know or are vaguely acquainted with waving glitter-covered snapshots of their lives in front of my face was too intense, and it felt like a competition. Once I got off the hamster wheel I face-bombed hard. Given everything that's come out about FB and social media in general in recent years, I am very happy with my decision. Yep. When I was a senior in high school, everybody was into Facebook. It was the cool new thing. Throughout the tail end of high school and then through college, my newsfeed was full of party pictures, event invitations, friends poking each other and writing notes on each other's walls, just fun stuff. You'd go to parties and talk to people and ask, "What's your Facebook?" Which was kind of the "what's your sign?" of its time. It was a wild and special time, and I'm happy that I was there in the thick of it. Now I still have my Facebook, but it's mostly for event planning and family stuff. I try to stay a little silly and keep it fun with fun statuses, etc., but I made the mistake of adding my old boss and coworkers from a job I left years ago, or old friends, or old acquaintances, and all they do is bitch and moan about whatnot and even make snarky comments on my silly statuses. Fuck Facebook. Edit: just for reference, I started removing these people. It's only recently become an issue with them being whiny. Edit: two experiences vary and are different for everyone. I'm speaking to my experience with the platform. If that's not for you, that's totally fine. Throwaway time for the controversial. Incest porn. Hear me out. The reason incest porn grew in popularity, and I associate this primarily with literotica.com, but it is a wider phenomenon. But the reason for the popularity was not people having an incest fetish. It's a truism on Literotica, at least, that the draw of incest porn for the most part was that it was the only kind of erotica that compelled the author to lay out a backstory, to build tension slowly, to cultivate a plausible circumstance where the tension reaches a breaking point, and then bang. So like, let's say the reader wants to read a BDSM-themed story about an athlete-personal trainer relationship. If you search the BDSM category for athlete-personal trainer, you open up a story at random, it'll probably start, "So I'm at my personal trainer and she's got me tied to the massage table and I'm begging her to lick my bobs." Total bullshit. So then you search the incest/taboo category for keywords BDSM athlete personal trainer and open one of the results, and it'll be like, "I used to hate how my sister acted toward me," with a mixture of disdain and sympathy. "But ever since I got distracted on the balance beam and broke my ankle, I feel like I deserve it." Bang. Chances are much better that this story is well written, humane, slow build, well, sexy. So for most people, it was never about the incest. But thing was, this was kind of exclusive to erotic lit, with a subcategory for a small number of movies. And now, there is a ton of perfunctory step incest porn online, videos, which are totally lacking in tension and are stupid and attempt to normalize incest in the grossest and most socially deleterious way you could imagine. Even on Literotica, you see more and more stories that begin, "So I'm at my stepdad's and he's got me tied to the massage table and I'm begging him to lick my bobs." It sucks. NSFW. Speaking only personally here, but 10 years ago I used to have a fetish for shaved female genitalia. I thought it was the bee's knees. I did a complete 180 on that though, for whatever reason. Now I love nothing more than traipsing through the jungle, like an intrepid explorer in search of she. In their defense, 90% of high schoolers act like something they are not to impress peers who have no idea what anything in the world is really like. But that's such a painful reason to hide who you really are. I hope you're doing well now. I'm glad that less people consider being bi or gay a phase now and society is much more accepting of anything other than straight. It also helps that two women together has been less sexualized in mainstream media in the past decade. That came with the movement of women being treated less like sexual objects. Less booth babes. Less women jumping on a trampoline in the background of a male-focused show played on Spike TV. It's not that everyone is offended by everything, but that there are more efforts to keep people from feeling objectified, and I appreciate that. The one place this hasn't changed is in the swinger lifestyle/universe. Guys must be straight and women must be bisexual. A lot of the big clubs will ban you if they find that any of your shared profiles lists the male as hetero, flexible, bi-curious, etc. And a lot of those same profiles say things like female is actually into women, not just bi for the guys, because so many women do just play queer. The worst are the single men though. They're not invited to the scene, so they don't care about the stigma. In fact, they use the stigma to try and make themselves more rare/desirable. Pretending to be bisexual so that you can fuck someone's girlfriend/wife is so fucking awkward and obvious once you move beyond words. It's also ridiculous that society accepts that a woman can eat some pussy but still be totally straight because she was just doing it for the audience, but the moment a guy even looks at another dick, he's full-on gay. BlackBerry phones. I used to want a curve so badly in 2010. I had family that worked at BlackBerry too. If you had a BlackBerry, you were the popular kid. BlackBerry Playbook and using a tablet for school before it was a thing. Half the popular girls had iPhones and complained of their cracked screen, and then the other half had Blackberries and would give away their special BlackBerry number. Horny teens texting with pictures was the life. Please comment if you remember what that BlackBerry number was called. I cannot remember. Women wearing black and white stripe everything. I never personally thought it was sexy, but I do remember the first time I noticed the trend was when there was a building evacuation downtown and there must have been 90% of the women dressed in black and white all huddled together on the sidewalk. It looked like a Hamburglar convention. Actually being fun. I'm biased because 2009 to 2012 were by far my favorite years I've lived through so far, but we had Jersey Shore, Party Rock, Lil Jon Shots, Kesha, Tila Tequila, who has since gone off the deep end, etc. Toward the beginning of that we had Warped Tour, the punk scene, hippie rock like MGMT, YOLO, the general attitude that life is a party, and toward the end of it we were moving toward the equally fun wanderlust period, people quitting school to travel the world and beat up camper vans or work vans they'd converted into little houses. People seemed interested in cramming as much fun as possible into their lives. Nowadays I'm the old guy because I'm still into that, and I can't get with all the kids bringing up their 401k, healthcare benefits, and career trajectory at what's supposed to be a fun party. I'm just standing over here like, man, fuck all that nerd shit, let's take shots, and they're like, okay grandpa. Maybe a little longer than 10 years ago, but actual firm fit butts on women. I don't know how or why all of a sudden flabby wide hippie dunka-dunks that jiggle like a balloon filled with congealed bacon grease became all the rage and something that women all over the place actively want. But a good while ago, fit, slender, petite, lithe women with small volleyball player type butts used to be considered the peak of hotness. Back when Tara Reid, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Jennifer Love Hewitt were considered some of the hottest famous women. Now it's all about butts that make a woman look like Mewtwo. Whatever happened, I hope it changes back sometime soon.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.